Hey, Kathy, Sue, Claudia, Louise. I hope everybody's doing okay today. Oh, let me turn off my echo there. Can you guys hear me okay? Just make sure everything's working. Hi, Sue. Hey, Jamie. I forgot one thing. I'll be right back. There it is. There it is. Yay! All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, what do you think about this big mess I have going on here? Looks like a mess, but we're going to go over. We've had so many questions and so many new people in the groups that I thought we needed to cover some of the basics because we get asked all the time, what tools do I need? I just got a machine, I got an air too, I got a maker. What do I need? So I thought that we would cover that. We are going to make this card. Please don't pay attention to where I messed up my Nuvo drops. I got to touch that up, which I'll do here in just a little bit. But we are going to make this card tonight. I've already cut mine out. The file is open to everybody, so you guys should have that. It's in the description below if you don't. So let's get started with the basics. In case you guys don't know what we mean when we say a trimmer, this is what we're talking about. And this trims your paper. You're going to, actually, let's see. You can open it up and you have a ruler, a guide, and it has a ledge on it so that you can keep your paper square when you put it in here to trim it. And you want to start at the ends, not in the middle like I did. And mine, as you can see, it didn't get a really good cut. It's kind of fuzzy. And that's because I need a new blade. So, you guys are in for a treat. I'm going to show you how to change the blade. You have your guide, and then you have your blade and your slide. On the back side, in case some of you newbies or pros did not know, you have storage. The black is your scoring blade, and this is your spare blade. And they come in packs like this. So you can get replacements, or when they're on sale and you can get an extra trimmer, because I have 3. And I keep one in my travel case where I don't have to pack it up, and it has both of the blades in there and one on the top. And then at home I have one where I set it up where it has my scoring tool in it because it has a blue cap, and then my gray cap is my cutting one. So that's a very, very important tool if you're going to be working with papers or acetates or any of those things. This is a super great tool to have. And I have a blade here. I'm going to change it. I'm not going to pull mine out from underneath, but you just slide them in and out. But here's my new blade. I am going to lift up on the slider cap, and there is the old blade, and I am just going to throw that in the trash. Then I'm going to take my new one and place it into the track, close my ruler or my guide, and snap that cap back on there. And I'm ready to go and cut again. And you see how fuzzy that edge is? I'm going to just place it in there. And now I have nice, crisp, clean cuts. So you'll know when you need to change your blade because you will be able to tell the difference in the cut edges. Okay? Handy, handy tool to have. Yeah, I keep one set up for scoring and one set up for trimming, and then I have one that has both of the pieces under it for traveling. And when you get yours, guys, you notice this little piece I have here is stuck here. It's got sticky on the back, and if your sticky wears off, you can just put another glue dot on the back of it. But this comes on your blade when it's shipped to keep your blade from getting messed up. So if you've got yours in your travel case, you may want to keep that little thing right there to keep your blade from getting messed up in travel. So I kept mine. A lot of people don't. You don't have to keep it. You can throw it away. Yeah, I have a Cutter Pro, and it does not cut as well as my Cricut trimmer. I've used my Cutter Pro maybe 20 times, and now it has a nick in it and it won't cut straight. And it was $100. So, I mean, for $10 when those were on sale, the Cricut trimmers, they're the best I've had. The blades last longer. As a matter of fact, that's the first time I've changed that blade probably in 6 months. And I use it almost every single day. So, yeah, the Cricut trimmers, Jamie, you can't beat them. So then, of course, everybody should have scissors. Now, I have my Tim Holtz, but you also have Cricut scissors. You have a large pair of shears, and then you have your little small ones, okay? And those are important to have if you're doing any kind of paper or fabric, just about anything. You're going to need scissors. So if you're new to Cricut and you're just getting this and you're just getting into crafting, make sure you have some good scissors. I really like my Tim Holtz. Everything doesn't have to be Cricut. These are my Tim Holtz, the Teflon ones, and they stay sharp and they don't get sticky like all the others. So, you know, you'll find scissors that you like and some that you won't care for. And that's all personal preference. Next, another tool that I can't get by without anymore. And usually, I used to use an X-Acto. And this is Cricut's X-Acto. It's called a True Control Knife. And this is a dull blade too, and I left it dull just to show you guys. These are the replacement blades. As a matter of fact, I have some that I've already, you can see how much I use mine. But this is super, super nice X-Acto knife, guys. Your blade locks in. You can't eject it. It doesn't loosen up while you're working like X-Actos do. To change the blade, you're going to twist that and unlock it. Insert it into the case here, and I just leave mine in there till I'm ready to throw them away, however you want to do it. Snap the next one on, if I can line it up right, there we go, till it clicks. Pull it out, lock it in, and it's ready to go. And before I mess up here, let me mark. This is an old blade. You can mark them any way you want to mark them. So I'm just going to put a cut line right on that one. So I know that that's my old blade. Usually I take it back out and toss it in the trash, but for time purposes I'm not going to. But super easy to use, super sharp, fantastic tool. If you don't have one of these, get one. These things are awesome, and get the spare blades too. Another thing that you're going to need, no matter which machine you get, if you're going to be doing any paper, acetate, anything like that, you need a scoring stylus. It is sold separately by itself. This fits in the Maker and the Explorer machines, either one that you want to use. If you have a Maker, the default is the scoring wheels right here in the adaptive tools. You can click on Edit Tools and change it to the stylus if you do not have these. If you have these work better than this does. but they will all work. Okay? To change your scoring stylus, if it tells you need the double wheel or the single wheel, if you look, one has a 01 on it. See if I can get that close enough for you guys. And then one has a 02 on it. You're just going to depress the top and it's going to fall right off. Quick change. Snap the other one on and you're ready to go. So that's how easy those are. You can change it from the single to the double. And I'm going to put my double back on because I actually have 2 of these so that I don't have to change them out. I pop in whichever tool I need. So that covers your scoring. If you're working with fabric, guys, number one thing you're going to need is a fabric mat. Because if you're using your rotary blade, which looks similar to the scoring wheels, but I want to show you guys the difference. Do you see that? They are totally different. That will cut you. It will cut you quickly. It is extremely sharp. Okay? But that is the difference in these. And another thing, do not remove your plastic caps from the tops. And this cover you will get when you get a replacement blade so that you can keep your blade from getting damaged. Do not remove this plastic piece, I'm sorry. I said flat, but plastic. This is a stabilizer and it's going to help you get better cuts. There are some videos out there that tell you to remove that. That was early on. I know that they have since changed that. Do not remove your plastic pieces. Okay, so with the rotary blade, it is used only on a pink mat. The pink mats are made of a denser material so that it won't cut through. It will cut through those other mats. So anytime you're using your rotary blade, you should be using a pink mat. Okay, just so you guys know that. And then when you get your blade changing kit, you will get a little screwdriver. And there is a video in my playlist and at Cricut that shows you how to change this blade. So if you need that, let me know. I may have made a video. I made a video for either the rotary or the knife, and I don't remember which one I made. But there is also some from Cricut. So you will get those in your blade changing kit. Everything that you need to change your blade. With that being said, on this fabric mat, if you're using fabric or crepe paper, you'll use this mat with your rotary, but you need this applicator set. This set is sold with the tweezers that are wide like this. And that's for picking off the fibers. Any fibers left behind, because you are not supposed to touch your pink mat when it's uncovered. The oils from your hands will break down the adhesive and your adhesive will not last as long. Okay? So your fabric, you're not going to get a good cut if you don't put your fabric on and use your applicator to put it down. You never want to cut wrinkled fabric. That's just a given even if you're not using your Cricut. You don't cut wrinkled fabric. You would iron it smooth first if it's really, really wrinkled. If it's just folded and you have that fold crease in it, this applicator will help you take that out, okay? So you really do need those if you're going to be working with fabric. If you're not going to be working with fabric, but you're going to be working with paper and inks, I have used mine to ink up embossing folders and then emboss them and get that ink on the raised portion or either the depressed portion of my embossing for different looks on cards. So it serves a dual purpose. I've used this for both fabric and for ink. And it cleaned up really nicely. I don't have any ink on it. Right, and any of the adaptive tools, guys, all of your adaptive tools, they are not usable in your Air machines or your Explorers. These are maker-only tools. Now, everything else, from the scoring stylus to the pens, to the blades, all of that, they are all usable in both machines. But anything with a gear on the top like this is maker only. Just so you guys know. Thanks for reminding me of that, Catherine. And this is your knife blade. When you get your makers, for you guys who don't know, your rotary comes calibrated. You can calibrate it if you want to, but it comes calibrated. However, your knife blade has to be calibrated. And you can see the knife blade in there. This is what it looks like. And then you have a protective cap. I think the protective cap comes on this one. And then when you get your blade changing kit, it comes in. I've taken this one and opened it up, but you get your blade in there, and you're just going to get the blade, and you're going to use this piece here over here to untighten it so that you can change your blade and then tighten it back up. And you get everything you need to change the blades for those, but this has to be calibrated before you can use it. That being said, you cannot use the knife blade in your maker if you are using a mobile device. You have to use a computer or a laptop. Okay? Is everybody with me so far? Just so you know, you cannot use the knife blade with a mobile device. Yes, Catherine, that brayer, I have used it to put vinyl on my mats. I have used it to put cardstock on my mats, especially when your mats are not sticking as well as they did when you first used them, or they've been broken in really good. This will help adhere. That being said, if your paper is not staying on there, and your machine will lift it up off of the mat, so you'll know when you need to replace your mat. Cricut does not recommend cleaning any mats. Just going to put that out there. I, however, have cleaned some of mine by washing them with a drop of Dawn or some cool water. Some people use baby wipes. You don't want to do that on your pink mat. The alcohol, the adhesive on this mat is extremely sensitive. So if you keep it clean with your tweezers and do what you want, do what you're supposed to do with them, you will extend that mat life. So you can do that. And there are a couple of tips and tricks. They don't come from Cricut, but you can take your contact paper. This is the only time you're going to ever hear me say use contact paper, because I don't use contact paper for anything. You can use your contact paper and put it sticky side up and the non-sticky side of your contact paper to your mat, and use your brayer to put it down, or your applicator. Put it down, and then put your felts, battings, things like that that are extremely messy on that. Then after you've cut it, you can peel that contact paper back, and you won't have all that debris on your mat, and that will help extend the mat life as well on these. But if it's not a messy fabric like faux leathers and things like that I cut on mine, they don't make a mess, so I don't do anything like that with mine. So just so you guys know, I mean, there are ways to do it and things. You don't want to be resticking your mats. The stickiness will get into your rollers, and it will void your warranty. It is unintended use. Okay? Cricut does not intend for you to do that and put it in your mat. And if you have a place that you missed or something like that, and it lifts up and that material gets into your rollers and things like that, it could damage your machine. It could break that drive belt in the back. I don't know if you've looked inside your machine, but if you look back here behind the roller bars, this right here, you can break that. That is the drive of your machine. That's what moves your carriage back and forth and tells your Cricut where to cut. So you want to be very careful about resticking mats and stuff like that. If you buy them in bulk when they're on sale, you use the group code, and if you have access, guys, I think the blue mats come out to about $6, and the green ones come out to like $2.60 something cents. So I've paid more than that for a sheet of paper. So, you know, buy your mats in bulk when you can. The fabric mats now, they don't sell those in bulk yet. Hopefully soon they will. But they were on sale this week, I believe, at Michael's for $10.19. So that beats $20 any day. So make sure that you're taking care of your mats like you're supposed to. Cricut doesn't have one of these. This is a bone folder. If you're making any kind of paper, you're going to need one of those. And I'm going to use that here in a minute, so I'm going to set that to the side. The Essentials Tools Kit. Now, I don't remember exactly which ones come in what kits, guys, but there are various Cricut kits. And you are going to get all sorts of tools. These are just the straight, small pointed tweezers. They come in handy with picking off vinyl off of things, or helping you straighten vinyl if you've got a wrinkle or something like that where you can lift it up. They're going to help you. Some of you may prefer these for paper making. They're little clamp type tweezers, and they're bent. So you may prefer those. And then these are the same bent ones without the squeeze mechanism to open them. This one clamps down on whatever you're squeezing it to, and this one does not. But this one also has a hook on it. So I don't know if I can get that in there for you guys to see that well enough, but it has a sharp little hook right here. So there are different ones, and it's going to depend on what you like to work with as to which ones you may want to get. And the same goes with your pokey tools, or what I call them. This one has the hook on it. This one does not have the hook on it, and this one is straight. So just so you guys can see that, and they are very sharp. Okay. Some people like to use dental tools. I like the Cricut ones because I like that they have a good grip on the handle. And if you have arthritis in your hands or anything like that, like I do, you're going to appreciate these. To me, the dental tools, my hand cramps after so long. So I prefer those with the bigger area on them. This is a must for getting your paper intricate cuts up off of a mat. This will keep you from tearing a lot of your fine stuff. It will help you remove even vinyl from a mat. If you've used a green mat and it's fresh, sometimes you need that to help remove that backing so that you can get it up without messing up your vinyl. That being said, you can always detack your green mat if you don't have a blue one with a t-shirt to keep it from being too sticky. Okay, because for some things it is too sticky. As far as pokey tools go, now I get this at Brilliant Vinyl, and this is what I use. And it's just like a straight pen or a needle. You can use that, but if you're like me, a needle gets lost really quick in my craft room. But this is like a little needle, and it will help you pop air bubbles on your vinyl without leaving a place. Because if you use your Cricut pokey tools and things like that, it may leave a small hole that is noticeable even after you get the air bubble out. And that sharp little pen does not do that. It's really sharp little needle, and you can get the air out and it won't leave a hole. Yes. And I'm going to cover that too in just a minute, Brenda. Then you also have your spatulas, guys, or your scrapers. You're going to need those. They come in two sizes, regular and extra large. And if you have a lot of intricate, I don't even use this one anymore. I can clean my mats in about 2 swoops with this one instead of working myself all day with the small one. So, and it's just going to come down to preference, whatever you prefer. So those are must-have tools with anything that you're doing Cricut. So if you're new and you don't have those tools, you're going to need those. Yeah, I love that one, Dana. I love mine with the hook. Of course, guys, you're going to need rulers and measuring tapes. You need that to see what size you're going to cut stuff. They have cutting mats. These are all extra things that you can get later on, but you are going to find out that you don't want to be without those. And if you're doing fabric, you're really going to want the rotary blades and then these quilting rulers. They have the metal and the plastic, the acrylic. And I use them for various things, but if I'm cutting some fabric down to fit on my mat, love the metal ruler. So make sure that if you're working with fabrics, you get that. This one, oops, I just dropped that ruler. This one's perfect with the True Control knife to trim down paper. If you have like 24-inch papers and you want to make them 12-inch for your mats or whatever, if you don't have a 24-inch mat, they're perfect for that. And last but not least on their toolkits, this is the flower making toolkit. And I didn't get the pad out. There's also a pad that comes with it. But this is a paper distresser so that you can use that. And then you have your mat where you can use the end of your tool, or you can use flower tools, which I don't have over here with me. Yes, I do. Your flower tools are going to be like this, and you can get those on Amazon. But they're to depress down on that mat for your flowers to get cups on them, to make them cup up like you want them to do. So that is a different tool from Amazon, but these and the mat comes in the flower. Is it called the flower toolkit? It's not called, it's the paper crafting set. That's what it's called at Cricut. It's called the paper crafting set. But this has your, it's like a quilling tool. It has a little split in it so that you can put it on, as a matter of fact, let me get this strip of paper here. If you're doing rolled flowers, guys, this comes in really handy because you can put that paper in there and then you can start rolling and roll that to get, and even if you're not, you can cut your own quilling strips in Design Space, guys. As a matter of fact, I think I have a file if you guys need it. I'm not going to roll that whole thing, but that's going to help you roll and get your rolled flowers. So if you're into doing the flowers and the paper stuff, then you definitely want the paper crafting set. And that basically covers all of the stuff for tools that you guys may need if you're new to Cricut and you're wondering, what tools do I need? Those are tools that you need and what they will do. Next are pens. Now I'm just going to suggest to everybody, especially, I'm just going to say it right, if you're using any third-party tool whatsoever, be it the foil quill or these adapters off of Etsy, and these adapters are for like gel pens to make your pens fit into your Cricut. Any of these things will void your warranty. It's a third-party tool, okay? So if you have a machine out of warranty and it doesn't bother you, then you can do that, but you need to make your own decision on that. I've been using this for 2 years and I've never damaged my machine with it. I would not use a metal one because it doesn't have any give. The one that I get off of Little Paper Towns from Etsy has a split in it for give, so that if my clamp is tighter than in one machine than the other, it has some give, so it's not going to pop my clamp. The metal ones, they are the size that they are, and you can tear up your clamps with those. So just so you know that. I suggest, Cricut is out of them right now, but I suggest when they get them that everybody get a backup clamp. Especially if you're going to be using your scoring stylus and different pens or the foil quill. You're going to need that. If you have to take this out for any reason, it comes out from the bottom of the machine. You just gently push up on it and pull it out. Several people have broken their clamps by pushing their pins in too far. And they're very easy to break. Get mine back in there. But you pop it back in till it clicks. But I suggest everybody, if you're going to be doing any of that, that you do get a backup. Because if you break that clamp and you have a Explorer machine, you can't score. You can't write and you can't score. At least with the Maker you can still score because it has a different clamp on clamp A. And the scoring goes into the B clamp. Blades. When you get your machine, you're either going to get a gold or a silver housing with a blade in it, a fine tip blade in it. They're the same. The ones that come with silver, I think, have a silver blade in it, and that's fine and good. There's no problem with that, none whatsoever. The gold, it's the same thing. The new blades come in gold with a white cap. This is a bulk pack, or was a bulk pack. I go through blades, guys. You want the white cap or the red cap for your Makers and your Explorers. Just gonna throw that out there. If I've done it too, you're trying to save money and you're going for the gray cap that has 2 blades in it at a lesser price, it's going to cost you more money in the long run, because it's a 30-degree blade where this one is a 45-degree blade, and it's going to cut through the backing on your iron-on, on your vinyl. It's not going to cut intricate on your cardstock. It will cut into your mats. It is the wrong blade for your makers and your Explorer machines. Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong. It does on the back of the package, because it was a misprint, say Explorer, but they do not work for the Explorer. It's a different degree blade, so do not purchase these for your makers and Explorer Airs. I think it works okay in the Explorer 1 and Expressions in the machines previous to that. So you want premium fine point and not a fine point. So make sure you don't go for the gray blade and try to save money, because it will cost you. The pink is for bonded fabric. Guys, to my knowledge, this is the exact same blade as the premium fine point of these. The difference is it's color coded. It's pink for bonded fabric. Same as with your cutting fabric. You don't use your fabric scissors for paper. So this is the same thing. Yes, Sue, red or white. So the pink is for bonded fabric, and that's so that you can tell to keep it separated from your paper and vinyl. And that's what I do. I have the extra ones, the gold and the silver, because I had a maker that had the gold in it. And so I use this for my vinyl, the silver for my paper. The pink is for bonded fabric. And you can learn to determine yours any way that you want to set yours up to do that. But all 3 of those are really the same blades. As far as I know, the pink blade is also the same as the red and the white cap. If I'm wrong, Jamie, correct me, but I believe it's still a 45-degree blade. Deep cut blades have a black, they are black with a black cap on them, or blue like this, silver with a blue cap on it. Okay? The new ones are black because they color coded them for your housing, so that when they were out and you had all these little blades laying out, you could tell them apart. That's why there's one pink, one gold, and one black. And so you can tell them apart. So, that being said, if no one has showed you guys how to change your blade, they're going to change the same in all of these housings, be it silver, gold, or pink, or black. It's going to change the exact same way. And what you're going to do is you're just going to hold it up and push this in right here. Just push it in. And that's going to release the blade so you can pull it out. Throw that one away. Get your new blade and remove your plastic piece. And you can keep it or throw it away. I'm just going to throw that away because I have a housing. And I'm just going to drop it in right there. And then I'm just going to depress it and let it go, and it's in there. That's how easy it is to change your blades. Yeah, Claudia, you don't want to use those gray blades in your Air or your Explorer. I mean your maker. So. And then last but not least, you have your pins for your Cricut, and they all go into accessory clamp A, being that you have a maker or an Explorer, and that's what they're used for. And for writing. And that covers all the Cricut tools, guys. I don't think I missed any of them. If I did, I'm sorry. Yes, do not unscrew these. We have had people take these apart to try to change the blade. Do not do that. All of them are super simple. Just press it and pull that blade out. Drop the other blade in, press it again, and you're done. It's on a spring and it has a magnet in there. If you take it apart, it's not going back together. It won't go back together. Does everybody understand about your tools and what they're used for and how to use them? If you have any questions, put them in caps. All of our moderators and myself, we will answer you and make sure that you understand. We don't want anybody messing up their tools. Mats, pink, fabric, crepe paper, tissue paper, anything with the rotary blade, okay? You do not want to use your rotary blade on any other mat. Green mat, let's go blue mat, because this is your least tacky. This one is a little tackier than the fabric mats, and it is for light fabric, lightweight materials, not fabric. Lightweight materials like vinyl or easy weed and things of that nature. Any of your light materials, your cardstocks, your vellums, things like that. Anything light, you can use this for. Green mats, a little tackier than the blue mats. They are for your medium materials, heavier than your vellums and things like that. You can use this for cardstocks. You can use it for vinyls. You'll want to de-tack it because sometimes it's too tacky for those backings and it will stick. And especially cardstock, if it's a brand new mat like this one, you'll want to de-tack it before you use it for any of your materials. Faux leather and stuff like that, you can just stick it right on there. It's not going to hurt anything. That being said, and I don't have a small purple mat. All of my long purple mats are buried right now. Purple mats are strong grip. That's the strongest adhesive mat that Cricut has. And those are for your really heavy materials like your chipboards. I use my craft cardstock, I use my green mats, things like that. As your material gets heavier, you'll want to use those. And on the back of those mats, it does tell you what types of materials. And if you don't have the packaging, you can always go here. Let's go over to Design Space. You can come over to help.cricut.com and you can find everything that you need to find right here. And if you don't know what section it might be in, the search bar, you can type the word mats. How do you mirror on the mats? Which mats do I use with my Cricut machine? So I can click on that and it will tell me the types of mats. Now this is just an old green mat, guys. But here's your strong grip, and it's for your heavyweight materials, cardstocks, glitter cardstocks, chipboard, all of that stuff. Then you have your light grip, your fabric grips. So you can see all of that in your standard grips. So all of that can be found at help.cricut.com by typing in the word mats. Everything you want to know about mats is going to be there. And again, if you're wondering about what materials, what blades, you can type in blades, guys. And you can find out all about the Cricut blades. Even changing your blades, everything I just covered, it's all there. And here you see everything and what machine you can use them in. Okay? Everything is there for you guys. So if you get stuck and we're not available to answer for whatever reason, don't hesitate to use your tools at Cricut. We're happy to help you as well. Right, Pat. That's something that you would use that purple mat for, because that stuff will slip around and it will come off of the other mats. They're just not tacky enough to hold it. And if it slips, then you're going to have miscuts and ruin your material, and it can get caught in your machine as well. So mats are very, very important to make sure that you're using the correct mats for cutting. Does anybody not know how to load a mat? When you hit make it on your machine and you're doing cutting your cardstock, I'm just going to use one that I've already cut over here that I've been working on. You want to make sure that you lay whatever material you're cutting on your mat and make sure that it sticks down. If you flip your mat over and you pick it up, let me get back over to my camera, I apologize. You're just going to line it up and stick it on your, see how that curled? And it's because I pulled it this way. If you flip your mat over and take the mat away from the paper, that won't happen, guys. That's one thing. But you can put your material, whatever you're cutting, on your mat, and if you flip that mat over and it's falling off of that mat, it's time for a new mat. Hi, Ann. But once you have your material on there and your screen on Cricut is telling you to select your material, you're going to select cardstock for this one, of course, and then you're going to hit your load button, and then you'll hit your cut button. And it's as simple as that. You'll want to make sure that when you're loading your mat that you put it in under the guides and push it flat up against these rollers and hold it there. You don't want to let it go and then hit that button, because it can pull it in off to the side. It can pull it in and make your, if you ever see your Cricut cutting up here above this area of the material, it's because your mat wasn't loaded properly. Okay, if you just stick it in there like this and you hit that load button and then it catches at a different point, it's not going to put it in there right. So just make sure, again, under both rollers, and you hold it up against the rollers and press your load button. Right, you want to make sure that you have that pressure, that it's flat against both sides, because if you put it in here like this, it's going to pull it in there like that, and it's going to probably tear up your mat. It could break off your guides, and most definitely it's not going to cut properly. So make sure that you're loading your mats properly. All right. If anybody has any Design Space questions, please just let me know, and me or the moderators will answer them as we go through. I've done it more than once, Pat. I've gotten mine in there crooked where I turned my head to do something while I was hitting the load button. It wasn't pretty. This is the card that we're going to put together tonight. It's the one I'm going to show you. It's really not that difficult. I just wanted to make something quick and simple for you guys because I knew that we were going to be covering a lot. And I do want to cover Design Space. I'm just going to give you a quick overview so you'll know where to do it. I am doing some tutorials. I'm getting them ready. I still have some to edit. So as soon as I can get that done, I will. I'm really super busy this week. I really wanted to get them out last Friday, but it's probably going to be this Friday or Monday before I get them out, maybe even during the weekend. But here on Design Space, this is your hamburger menu, is what I call it, your main menu. And this is where you can view your profile and set up your Cricut profile. And you can share projects in the community. So if any of you guys, I don't know if it'll let me post that, but if you guys want any of those projects that I have shared publicly, you can get them there. But there are several projects in here, and you can load in your own projects to share in the community as well. So just so you guys know that, that's where you set that up. And I don't know how I got misclicked. There we go. Then you have your canvas. Home is going to take you to the home screen where everything is at. Your Make It Nows. Your calibration, if you need to calibrate your rotary blade, your knife blade, or your print and cut. You do not need to calibrate your print and cut unless you're getting some miscuts, guys. If you're getting that white edge, or if you've left your bleed on and you're getting a white edge around there, then you'll need to calibrate. This has to be calibrated before you can use it, and this one should come calibrated, but when you change your blade, you may want to recalibrate. So again, in that menu, you have your Manage Custom Materials. Right here is where you're going to come in, and if you need to add a material that's not in there, you're going to select whichever device that you're going to be adding it to. It is per device. It is per computer or iPad or mobile. So not only is it per machine, but it's per device as well. So you're going to go in here, and all the way at the bottom, if you need to add a material, you're going to click here, add it. You're going to name it and say done. And then it's going to pop back up here wherever in this menu. It will automatically come up to that. And then you're going to put in the pressure that you want, the number of cuts, if you want a multi-cut or not, and the blade you want to use. And then save that. But you need to do that for each device that you use and each machine that you use. It will not follow one another. So if I do this on my computer here and then I go to my iPad, it's not going to be there. I would not change any of my preset materials that are there. Always create a new one. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, but I believe when they do updates, if you've got custom materials in there, if they update the materials, when they do the updates to materials, everything reverts back to what was in there previously and you will lose them. So, just so you know that. Any adjustments you've made, I think they all go back to the defaults. Update firmware. This is just going to tell you if there's a firmware update for your machine, and if it is, then you'll need to update it. I'm not going to go through that, but you can do that if ever you feel like that something's not right. You can always check that. This right here will take you to your accounts at cricut.com so that you can see anything that you've purchased or make purchases. If you have cartridges to link from your old machines or your old account, or if you buy a cartridge that has not been previously linked to an account, you can link your cartridges here. The maker does not have a port. They do have a device to connect it so that you can link cartridges, and then an adapter, and then there is a linking port on all the Explore Airs and Explorers. Then you have your Cricut Access, and this is just going to tell you how long that your membership is good to. You can manage your subscription, go in here and renew, whatever, or you can purchase from here. I would rather you use my links, but if you must. And then settings. This is going to bring up the settings for your canvas right here. So you can, if you are used to working in centimeters or you're on centimeters and you're used to working in inches, you can change that here. You can change your grid to a partial grid or no grid on your canvas. You can also do that from right here, this little button. It's hard to see, but it's up here between the two zeros. All of that is going to be in here. So you guys can basically figure this out. If you want to see the legal, it's all here. New features, this is going to walk you through any new features like we just had updated, and we're going to go over some of those. But all of that, I'm going to skip that for now. It will take you through a walkthrough of any new features from updates. And then, of course, your sign out, your help. And if you ever want to leave feedback for Cricut on Design Space or Access, whatever, putting it in the groups and all that, we can make suggestions and we can help you. But this is where you need to send feedback if you're really unhappy with something, or there's a feature that you're really impressed with, or something that you want that we don't have. This is where you would leave that. And then you have your layers panel over here, guys, and this is your brain. This is what is the brain to your Cricut. It tells your Cricut what it's going to do. It tells my Cricut it's going to draw this line, it's going to cut this shape, then it's going to do this shape. It tells you on each layer what it's going to do. So if I just have this one, it has a line attached to it, so it tells me it's going to cut the square, but it's going to put a score line on that square, and then it's going to write this hello friend on that square. So this is what it tells you in each one of those little groups. So I have just a square here, and it tells me that blue square right there, it's not going to do anything but cut its square. My honeycomb is just telling me, all of those holes. If you can see the grid back there, and let me make that so you can see it on the canvas. And it's right there. Let me go with pink so we can see. Anything that you can see that pink back there, that means that it is going to cut everywhere, cut all of that out. So when you can see your grid back there, that's what's going to be cut out. And then you have your attach up here. This piece, whereas it's one of these pieces here, and it's just going to say that I have attached writing to that square, and it's going to draw that, then it's going to cut that square. So when you actually look at those, select your piece and look at those, it will tell you everything that's going to happen to that piece in this layers panel. And that's why it's so very important. This is also where you're going to find your group and ungroup. So if anything is grouped, you can ungroup it right here, and then it moves pieces individually. Or if you want to move and size things all together, you can select them and group them. Okay? You can duplicate items from here, and you can delete items from here. Down at the bottom, it's going to show you your contours, and let's see if I get one that has something on it. Okay. If I want to contour out and make that solid, I can come up here and select contour, and I can hide all my contours. So everything that you really need is going to be in these panels at the top. And a lot of them are basically self-explanatory. Undo. If I undo that, it's going to undo what I did in my previous step. So you can just click undo and fix those. Redo if you want it to go back. When you have things selected like this, it has multiple line, because we went from having the scissors and the little printer icons and everything over there to having a line type. And so this is cut, draw, and score. So I can change that to score, but it's going to change everything to score and take the cuts off. If I just want to change one part of it, I have to select it in the layers panel and then get that off that multiple line type to do so. Again, if you see multiple in there, it's going to change everything to whatever you change it to. If you only want to change one part of it in that group, you need to select it here in the layers panel and come back to line type. And then, of course, you have your colors, where you can change your colors here in advanced. I'm not going to go into detail on all of this because I'm doing some videos for it. I just want to give you the basics tonight. This is for your print and cut. You will change it to print. This is also where you can change things to, print. And then you can change the color of it, or you can change it to advanced and pick patterns. Or colors, whatever you want to do. So that's what those do. Then you have your select all, you have your alignment tools, you have your sizing tools, and your rotate. And this just rotates things. If I wanted that to cut at a 45-degree angle, I can change that and have it cut. Oops, I selected the wrong one. I am not saving this because I don't want to mess that up. But it will rotate your pieces. Position. That is going to put that, if I want to put that at the 0, 0 position, I change that, and you can see that piece move up to the 0, 0 position. It does see that bounding box as a square, and this is the point that it's referencing. Hi, Vanessa. I have not mentioned the access-only sales and stuff yet. I have not mentioned those. So guys, those are your basic tools, and in the videos that I'm setting up, I am going into more depth and going over them a little bit more for you. But I wanted to make sure all of the guys that were new knew what blades to choose, how to change blades, what tools were available, because we get a lot of questions about what tools do I need? I just got a maker, or I just got a machine. I've never used a machine. I need to know this. So I want to make sure that you guys have something to reference where you can come in and you know exactly what you're going to need to get started. So pick something. If you want to do paper, get your paper stuff together first. Don't try to get it all at once, and because it's very overwhelming that way. If you want to just start out with iron-on, get the tools that you're going to need for iron-on and some iron-on and start there, and then slowly build your arsenal, because it can get expensive really fast. It can get overwhelming really fast. So pick something that you want to do, work on that, master that, and then move on to the next one and get the tools that you need for whatever it is that you want to start with. So I hope that that clarified everything for everybody. And now we're going to put this card together really quick. It doesn't take very long. And I used different papers on this, guys. I used Natalie Malin's The Little Terrace. I used this blue one out here. This is a really cute paper set. I really, really like it. It's got some cute papers in it. I really love the Beatles. So, nice papers. And then I used some Cricut cardstocks, and I used some Stampin' Up! And some Hobby Lobby or Michael's embellishments and things like that. The first thing you're going to do, of course, is fold your base in half on the score line. And I know that I kept that. And then take your bone folder and give it a good press. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use your finger. Use your scraper, just use it gently because it is kind of sharp on one edge and you don't want to tear your paper. Make sure that you close your paper and put it in front of you the right way, or you will end up putting your panel on backwards. Don't ask me how I know that. Oh, thanks, Deb. I hope that everybody got a lot out of that tools and how to change the tools and stuff like that and work with them. And there are a couple of ways that you guys can do this card. If you want to put these down with brads and keep them flat, you can. I didn't. I'm doing a 3D card. My flower and all was up, so I did not do that on this one. I even pop dotted the centerpiece. Several ways that you can work with this card. You can use butterflies. You can use any embellishments that you want. So, but if you're going to use brads, you'll want to put your panel together first so that your brads don't show through to the inside of your card. And then put this panel down. But I'm not doing that today, so I am just going to glue it down. Just a little bit of glue. I'm using Art Glitter glue. You can get it at artglitter.com. And I may, because this stuff has a shelf life on it, so I stopped selling it because I didn't want it sitting here throughout the winter and getting old and stuff like that. But I may do like a order in the summer, do some pre-orders. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know and we'll go from there. If I have enough interest in it, I'll do it. And if not, I won't. Then you have your panel here, and you're just going to fold it on all the scores. Double-sided paper is needed for this piece, guys. And then you're just going to fold that other score back. Now, if you don't want yours to hang over, I did want mine to hang over because, like I said, I'm doing like a 3D box here. You need to move that score to the width of, you need to give it the same width if you want that point to end up right here, because people do them both ways. So if you want it to do that, you'll need to adjust your scores so that you give this one a little bit more space up here to fold into that. And I may just add one to the file that does it that way so that you guys will have both. It's really hard for me to see my score lines. But I am valley folding the long line and mountain folding the small. And for those of you who do not know that, this is a valley fold. It makes a V. And a mountain fold makes a little mountain. So you can see. Some of you, somebody had messaged me and didn't know, so I wanted to make sure that you guys did know that. If I can see it here. It's really hard to see sometimes on pattern paper. And now I have that little box built. I used, now in the file you will see the gold honeycomb. I didn't cut that simply because I ran out of time. Okay, I didn't have time. But I have these from Stampin' Up. And for those of you who do not have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, one of our patrons, Amanda Nehemiah, she sells Stampin' Up. And these are really, really pretty. And all I did basically was decide where I wanted it on my card. I kind of tilted it a little bit. And if it hangs over the edge, this one did, I just cut it off. But I am not going to stick this whole thing down. I just kind of got me a little dab of glue right here in the center. And then kind of just dipped the edges because it doesn't need a whole lot. And just stuck it down. That's how I put it on. And it's staying perfectly fine on there. Really easy. Then you're just going to glue. That's about where you want it. Again, it's all preference. You put it on any way you want. If you want to put it on diagonal or straight, however you want to do it. Glue that piece down. And then I am just going to pop dot this piece up. And you can pop dot it just in the middle or on the edges, whatever you want. I pop dotted all 4 corners on that one, but for time purposes I'm not doing that on this video. And I'm just going to stick that down in the center. And I put a little bee in there. And I really wasn't happy with them, but you guys can figure out what you want. I have some little bitty fuzzy bees that I wanted to use and couldn't find them. And I didn't like my button either, so I decided to go with a stick-on butterfly that I had from, made out of acetate that I had bought from, I think it was Michael's, but it could have been Hobby Lobby. And I just kind of stuck that down in there to hold up, oops, I want his wings. I kind of bent the wings up over the edges of those. And it will hold it here in just a second. There we go. And then the flower. I used this strip. You can use ribbon, use whatever you want. And you can put that down before you, I did not get that straight, before you put this piece down if you want, but I used it to kind of hold that into place on that corner, so I just did this one the same way. And I'm not going to go through and put this whole flower together, guys, because you can see that, how it's put together here. All you do, you see this little round tab right here? I just put a dot on there. And I held it till it dried. You can bend back and curve back the petals if you want. Give it as much curl as you think it needs. And I basically just curled mine on one side to come up over this lip, like so. That's all I did. I did not use the whole leaf in there. I used the one that was split. I just glued it. And that just kind of makes it cup a little bit to give it that curl. And I glued that backwards, but that's okay. I just flip it that way. You can still flip it. Give it a little curl. It gives a little dimension. And I just stuck it down. And once this was dry, same thing. I just picked a few of these tabs and placed it down. And I already glued one. There are 3 of the large ones in that file. I just grabbed the Gerber Daisy file out of the Cricut Access, but I didn't use all of the pieces. I just used some. Kind of stagger it a little bit. And then you can use the center if you want, or you can use Nuvo drops. That's what I used on my other one. And this was English mustard. And this is just the yellow Cricut cardstock. You can use it. Works just as well. But I just put 2 of the large ones down, and then I did 2 small ones in the same exact way. Thank you. Hey, Miss Sheila. And then again, I just kind of put some glue on there, and you can curl it if you want to, but it cups itself, so it's going to stick up a little bit all on its own. You don't really have to do a lot to them, so if you're new to making flowers and stuff, this one kind of helps create its own 3D. And I have the center out of this one. I'm just going to show you guys how to use Nuvo drops on that. You're just going to give it a little squirt. Make a little round center. Just going to go over the top of that one. Instead of doing a whole dot, just a small one. But you can do them either way, whichever way you want. But it's a really cute, quick card. Not a lot of work to it. You can put it together. I think we put that one together in about 7 minutes after cutting. And then again, there are extra pieces in there. You don't have to use them. Use them if you want to. And that's from 2 different cards, or 2 cards because I cut 2. I thought it was really cute. But any theme, guys, you can do anything on there. You can do butterflies, you can do dragonflies, bees, anything. Show me what you make with it. Did anybody have any questions that didn't get answered? Any design space questions? Anything that you need help with? We are here to help, guys. If you need help at any time, you can message us. If you message me and I don't respond right away, I could be mobile, I could be filming. There are just a ton of things. So always post in the group as well. You can tag me or tag a moderator. Somebody will be happy to help you. Waiting to make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Ah, that's wonderful, Claudia. That's good to hear. I'm glad that you got something out of it. And there's always more than one way to do anything. I always say there's more than one way. And I'll get into that with more of the detailed things, such as contour or slice. Which one do you do? It just, a lot of it depends on what you want to do. So, do you have a 3D envelope that fits this card? Yes, I do. Baby girl, I have a... If you're a Patreon, it should be on there. And I think, if you're not a Patreon, message me. And I will make sure that you have it. Because I don't... The envelopes are just there for Patreons, just for ease of access. Because I have made them public. But I do have some. This one's probably going to take a 1/2 inch. Maybe a 1 inch. This one might take a 1 inch depth. So, but I do have one that from a 1/4 inch up to 1 inch in depth for cards. And this will, after it dries, it will press down some. So you can press it down to get it in the envelope. But if you need it, let me know. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably do a tutorial on how to make a 3D envelope so you guys can make them any size that you need. So if you have a square card or a rectangle card or anything like that, then you'll know how to make an envelope for it, because 3Ds don't size as easily as others. When you unlock them and skew them, it skews the height. Oh, you're welcome, Brenda. I appreciate all of you joining me. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Patreons, for supporting me. Thank you, moderators. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. And I just want to let you guys know that this is the last live video I'm ever doing. No, April Fools. I'm just kidding. I had to throw that in there somewhere. My printer. Yes, I'd be happy to. Let me switch over to the screen and show it to you guys. Oops. Let me grab that and I will get it right over there for you. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can get it to change over. There we go. This is the Epson Workforce 7720. It has a ton of features, Pat. It has the rear printer. This one has the where you can feed in to scan it, etc. But on the back, you can't see in this photo, it does have a rear feed or a pass-through feed, and it has 2 trays. So if you have 12 by 12, you want a cardstock you want to keep in one tray, and then your regular paper at the top, you can. That way, but I wouldn't recommend putting my cardstock in this one because you do need a pass-through if it's thick cardstock. If it's 65 pound, it'll probably go around the rollers perfectly fine. But that is the thing about this printer. Thicker materials like cardstocks, sticker papers, things like that, you need a pass-through or a rear feed. If your paper, those thick papers have to go around the rollers, it will jam. And that's the problem. It's really not the materials. The printers can't handle thicker materials. Anything that's thicker than photo paper, they're generally going to have an issue with it. And that's why they have rear feeds for envelopes and thicker materials. It's because those, when you feed it through there, it's fed single sheet and it doesn't go through the roller system. And that's what makes this one, that's what makes this one a better printer over the others. It's not that it prints any better, or that the photos are better, or the quality of the prints are better. It's that you have that pass-through. But with this one, it's affordable with that, and you can print wide format. And that means that you can print 12 by 12 cardstock. Say that you have a piece of cardstock that's discontinued, because I have run into this a lot. And you really like it, and you have a project, and you need 4 sheets of that cardstock, and you have 1. What do? You print it. You scan it, you print it, and you cut your printed, and you save your last sheet for that purpose, so that whenever you need it, you can scan it in and print it yourself. Yes. Mine, I believe it does. It might be 11-inch, but this is the thing. If you can scan it into that on a high DPI, dots per inch, or resolution, then you can use it as a pattern and print it out edge to edge. If you understand, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but fit to page. And that way, if it's high resolution, it won't blur much. I don't know. If you look in, I think it's the Crafting with April group, but you'll have to go way back, way back, unless I shared a memory. I did a gazebo from SVG Cuts in a beach theme. Somebody wanted that. And the paper they wanted, I had one sheet of. So I printed it all on an Epson and cut it, and nobody knew that I had printed that cardstock myself. Another time when that comes in handy is if you have a piece of paper or cardstock that's 80 pound or 65 pound and you need 110 and you have 110 pound white, print it. You've got your own 110 pound paper. I have printed transparencies. I did print that, Brenda. I printed that on my Epson. Because this is my second Epson. My first one, I wore it out, I guess. I don't know. But I haven't had any problems out of this one at all. I think my other was a 7710, which I don't think they make it anymore. This is the 7720, and I have had no problems out of this one at all. But the print quality is just as good. I printed on transparency, slapped it on a mat, and even with my air and my maker and no white paper under it, none of that. My Explore Air and my maker both cut without it being on white paper. So, yeah. Pat, if you want to message me or just ask in the group and I'll get you the link. If you use my link, I will earn a small commission. It's small, but it's something. It's the same price at Amazon and at Best Buy, $1.99. But I think you have a better return option or a refund option, or if there's any problems or whatsoever, you have a better policy with Best Buy, and they're quicker, I think, than Amazon. Yeah, the 7710 has one tray and the 7720 has two, but I've had no problems out of this one. My other one, I put one of the continuous ink systems on, and I think that is what caused me the problems with my print head. I didn't do it to this one. Okay, guys, I will give you that link. It won't let me post it in here. I'll try, but it won't. I don't think it'll let me. Maybe it did. That's it right there. That's for the printer. And personally, I would get this from Best Buy because Best Buys are closer to you. If you have any problems, you can take it up there or get the Geek Squad. I did get the Geek Squad thing on mine, so I have insurance on it should anything happen. Right above you, Pat. I just posted it. But yeah, overall, I'm extremely happy with it. Epson has a USA-based customer service. So if you have any problems, the only problem I was having is it was my Mac problem actually. But Epson was happy to fix it for me on my ink replenishment program. And it wasn't anything to do with the printer itself. It just didn't want to accept my Replenish Ink app. So, okay, Pat, just let me know if you prefer Amazon. I'll pull up my link for Amazon, but I know it won't let me post my Amazon link in here, and I'll message it to you. I'll send you that Amazon link for it if you prefer that one. I usually call Best Buy. I usually don't call the store. I usually call corporate. And I've never had any problems with Best Buy's honoring theirs. But like I said, I don't call the store because you're never going to get anywhere at the store. Alright guys, thank you all. I appreciate it. Sorry that this video went over about 20 minutes, but I knew that we had a lot to cover. And I wanted to be sure that you guys got as much information as you could get out of it. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. I will see you guys next Saturday if you're a Patreon for our Ask Me Anything. And then I will see the rest of you guys on Monday. You have a wonderful week. Happy April Fool's Day. You got me, Debbie. I was like, oh no, all of that. She didn't learn anything. Yes, please, guys, thumbs up, share. I'll see you guys on the next one.